am excited for Midnight, and I will definitely be coming back. You can say, "Who are you? What the hell? Who are you? Like, what are you doing here?" And that's a good question. This video will follow formats. At first, I'll tell my experience with World of Warcraft, what happened, what was this channel before, because there's some different videos on this channel, and what's then why I'm excited for Midnight, and what's my plan for Midnight. It's gonna be like hopefully a quick video. I'll leave not much editing. I'm just gonna be talking like from top of my head, if that makes sense. First of all, I started playing World of Warcraft when I was a little kid. I would watch my cousin play through Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm on the weekends when I would visit him. And later, in around Pandaria, so one of my classmates arrived at the school and he said, "Oh, look, there's this amazing game I want to introduce you to." What is it? Like, what is this game? And he said World of Warcraft, and I got into Pandaria, and I didn't know that in PvP, like, so there's any rating, or I didn't really understand that. He said, okay, from PvP you just get the best gear, and whoever is geared better is considered cooler. Like if you have full PvP gear, arena gear, you're considered cool. And I'm like, damn, that's perfect. I can work with that. So I didn't really know that you can play them like for rating. So I was just messing around, in PvP for years. I would say I was starting PvE, PvP. In Warlords of Draenor, I unfortunately had to quit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. No, and then Legion came out, and that's when was my first comeback to the game, and I'm like, damn, that's gonna be. I always loved Illidan, and I thought that's great. They're finally pruning the insanely over the top rotations, and they're like adding a bunch of cool stuff. So I thought it would be cool. Legion, I wasn't really excited more about pruning. I was just more excited about the fact that they're adding a bunch of cool stuff. But hey, pruning also was nice because the game before was quite difficult for a kid. Like I was young. Even in Legion, when Legion came out, I was like 13. I think I was 13 or 12. I don't remember. Yeah, so then Legion, I was playing, and eventually I'm like, okay, I stumbled upon like a vendor that sold elite sets, and I'm like, what the hell? Elite sets? That is just the most coolest thing ever. And this information is important for later. And I'm like, oh my god, and I don't have time. Like, I had my warrior in season 3 and 4. I was like doing PvE. I was trying to raid. I was trying to do mythic raid, but I was kind of failing at that. And I was PvEing on my warrior, and then as I saw the set, I'm like, okay, I definitely need to get those on my DK. I know the time is up, but I definitely starting season 5. I gotta level up my DK and like gear up my DK and just start playing. I gotta hop back in, because I know for a fact that warrior, no matter how much I love warriors, I think they're the coolest class because they can play with anyone. They're just so fun. I always played DK, like I always played Death Knight. That was my go-to always. So season 5 to 7, I got my 2K, and I thought, okay, that's the best reward you can get in PvP. That's what I thought, and I thought like the titles, like it's just for, for fun. You get it for season, and it doesn't really do anything. I knew about them before, but I really didn't know what they do, which is quite silly, like a lot of things I didn't know that they're in the game because no one really mentioned it, and none of the media I would consume, like I would watch Nixium videos, and I watched a lot of Machinima, and watched mostly PvE videos, like people from private servers, or playing mostly PvE, and if they did play PvP, it was like very low MMR. So I never really saw any high-rated play up until Legion, and then BFA first season I saw, like, unfortunately BFA required you to PvE in order to be good in PvP, and I couldn't afford that. I was in high school. I wanted to study for university, and I couldn't really PvE all day. I could only PvP. So what I did is I made it mostly a goal to PvE bare minimum and mostly do PvP. And first season, decays were not really good, and you may say, what? Yes, for the very beginning of first season, not everyone clocked that you need a lot of versatility, but also decays had this annoying skeleton, and I think I have this, it's unlisted videos on this channel about, like, you know, of me playing with the skeleton. It was, instead of like a abomination, it was a skeleton, and it was just so god awful. It was just so bad. And then they buffed DK, but by that time I gave up on it. I thought, okay, in PvP, if I really want to be good and I want to get some good MMR, I need to play something that doesn't really rely on gear. And I tried Rogue, and I got my first 2.2 on a Rogue immediately. Like immediately, I played sub and mutilation, like from what I remember, both sub and mutilation, because Peekaboo was like, you know, I was watching him and I was like, that's great. I was also watching Savix, and like that's just crazy people. They're doing crazy stuff. They're really good. I wish I could be like them, but unfortunately Rogue is not really my class. I really liked my DK set, so season 3, I think, I don't remember, either season 2, I don't remember what I did season 2, that's the problem. Oh yeah, I did play season 2. Season 2 I played DK. Season 2 I played DK, and I was busy with school, so I just like got, I think, 2.2 or something, and that's it. And then starting season 3, I'm like, okay, I gotta lock in, because I found out first season about gladiator mounts. More people started having them, and I was wondering, like, what are those cool mounts? I always loved Proto Drakes, and that's again important for later, because I love Proto Drakes. They're the best mount ever. They're literally super awesome. And I'm like, okay, I gotta get one. So season 3 I got 2.4, and I'm like, okay, that is not it. That is not it. I still need, like, I need a more stable team. And season 3 or season 4, I started looking for a team, but the problem is there's a corruption season, and I thought, okay, Unholy Decay, most Unholy Decays focus on damage, you know. What if I focus on uptime of, that's how I got 2.4, I focused on uptime of necrotic wounds, because that's just, it was bound to a certain number that is not like, you wouldn't get it wrong, you know, if you, it's like equivalent of a mortal strike, if in my head at the time. So I thought, okay, since I cannot PvE too much, I'm gonna, you know, make sure that there is a lot of necrotic strike and just try to play off CC chains and stuff like that. I played both specs, and then season 4 finally is allowed to buy corruptions, and before corruptions, because I didn't PvE at all, like I only got Getiku. That's the only sword. That's the sword that was like, you know, it would place a bleed on your enemy. I just waited until they allowed buying the corruptions, and I immediately bought all the corruptions I need, and my rating immediately went up to 2.4. At the same time, I found a team of wonderful people. Literally, I remember those times with great, like, fond memories. I was a demon hunter and a druid, and druids were not good, but it didn't matter. I knew I can get gladiator because I believed that my skill is much, like, not really bound to my MMR, because, like, me not having PvE gear doesn't mean that I'm a bad player. It just means that I don't PvE. And regardless, I knew that even with Druid, because he's an amazing person, we can absolutely go get Gladiator, and I told him that, and we got 2 Gladiator immediately. I think in a span of, like, I would say 2 weeks, we farmed the 50 wins, and that's it. Now, Shadowlands came around, and I was super excited. I was super hyped up that I don't have to PvE. All of this is over. And unfortunately, we got to 2.4. I don't think I can show it now because this is free trial account. We got to 2.4, and I still have the achievement tracker, but something happened in real life that made me leave the game. And then when I came back, I really was not in the mental space to play at all. I actually couldn't play at all. Like, it wouldn't work. I don't know what I'm doing. I completely forgot this quest. I didn't use this quest in so long. So after I left, I thought, okay, I got gladiators, I got my set, my character looks cool, you know, like I think I got everything in the game. And Shadowlands, frankly, I also didn't like. Because one-shotting people doesn't mean that there's no really time to strategize. It wasn't like this in Legion, where you would just one-shot someone out of the blue. It was more like, yes, the health bar would move, but it wasn't like a complete one-shot. And when we were playing with my team, we got to 2.4 really, really quickly. I don't know, we can see an achievement. I think it's Feast of Strengths, player versus private player. Elite. Challenger. Elite. So I got it. I don't know. I actually don't know if it's early or it's not. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember that once we started playing together, because I was playing with other people that, you know, were asking to play. As soon as we started playing, I remember we got there really quickly and really randomly. That's what I didn't like. Like, it was very undeserved because like BFA was struggling, you know, and here it's just like boom, we're at 2.4, and I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? And at the same time, it worked both ways, where, you know, we would just sometimes die randomly, and it was just really, really annoying. Oh, I need one more. Okay. So I came back in Dragonflight to just check how things are going, and I didn't like how they're going. I didn't like that I saw a legendary axe from a raid. I definitely didn't want to do that. Deal with that. I really didn't. Okay, and I came back also in The War Within, and I thought, oh, it's pretty fun. It seems fun, but it wasn't. The hunters were just one-shotting everyone, and I'm like, okay, I'm very, very out of date. And the problem was not really hunters. It was mostly that I didn't have my add-ons. I really didn't. I didn't remember how to set them up, and I never really cared for add-ons. Like, I didn't need much. All I needed to do is see enemy cities. If I have bad teammates, like I'm playing with randoms, I would need, not bad, but like, you know, when I'm playing with randoms, I needed to see my teammates' cities, and that was very, very taxing. That's where, now we're getting to the point, like, you know, I need to emphasize that we're getting to the point of, like, you know, now I'm coming back, and what's up, why am I excited? So, I saw, okay, I have so many add-ons to set up, right? Like, I need to go and track my enemy CDs and my teammate CDs, and I want to make sure that I see all the cast bars, you know, like, easily. Like, Gladius I didn't like. I would like make cast bars bigger. I didn't really like how they placed it, like, you know, differently, like the player frame, like everything was so different, and I didn't like that. I really didn't like that, and it was just so new. I felt so out of date, and I feel like many players are not necessarily, they didn't play this game for long, and they're trying to, like, you know, get better, and the players that are coming back, it was a nightmare, and I finally felt it. It was just genuinely a nightmare, because in Legion, you would just level up your character, and you can hop onto arena immediately, and just try your character out, you know, but still, you needed to farm some stuff, and, like, stuff like that in the beginning, but towards the end, you could, like, just play, and that was very nice. Well, now it's more like, you know, you do need add-ons because so much happening so quick. It's too quick. And I'm fine with it being quick, but I really, and what I'm excited about Midnight is removal of add-ons, and even though they'll be replaced by other add-ons, people will not be able to have, like, you know, a full range. Where what I hated when I was pushing gladiators was another dude, and he was PvEing, and I hated that guy. Like, regardless, like, he was PvEing, and I hate it because I was jealous because he could PvE. I think that's why. I was a kid and I was like, damn, he can do it all day. He's like a grown up. He can play all day and I can't. I have like school and stuff, you know, like I have other stuff to do. And like, he was PvEing and he had those add-ons. I don't even know how to describe them. They would tell him everything. Like, it would tell him in his headphones everything. It would highlight everything he needs to click. like not everything, but like a lot of things. It would show so much information. It was one overwhelming, but I bet once he gets used to it, it's so useful. That like you don't even need to bother to look around or position yourself. You can just it will tell you, okay, you're losing or like whatever. It'll just notify you, which is I find it a bit. I don't like that. I don't like that. Back in the day, PvP was like even though you can have this add-on, if you're not a good PvPer, it doesn't really matter. But now when the game is so quick, the game is really really quick. I don't like. I really need those add-ons. When I came back in Dragonflight, I thought, damn, I wish I had this add-on to let me know what's happening. Did someone click burst? Did someone didn't? Like like what's exactly happened? And same goes the War Within. Like I was so confused on many things. Many healers were just popping some stuffs that didn't. I couldn't grip them. I couldn't stun them, and I was like, oh, that's weird. There's just so many new stuff, and I wish I had this add-on. And now everyone will be mostly on the same playing field. All you will get is like enemy cooldowns. You definitely get enemy cooldowns, and you will get like some stuff from Blizzard, which I find is super super good. I think it's also nice that maybe some rotation bots will disappear because I heard about this problem before. And yeah, it's just that's the first exciting thing. Second is I feel like Chris Metzen is finally. It was the first expansion the War Within of Chris Metzen, being back, and right now is the second, and I feel like it could be actually good. And hear me out, like I feel like it, even though it seems like nothing is happening, but Void Lords is like a big thing in the lore, and I feel like it would be Legion 2.0, because I remember in the beginning of Legion, everyone thought, okay, like Demon Hunters is cool and all, but after Draenor, no one was really sure is they want to come back, and I get the same feeling now. I'm like, damn, I really would like to come back, because I didn't hate Draenor at the time, and I don't hate the War Within or Dragonfly. I'm just very out of date. I didn't like Shadowlands. I really didn't like Shadowlands, but I still find it cool in terms of style. And this one, it seems like it's gonna be like a big overhaul, like in Legion. Like for example, Unholy Decay in Legion got his rotation switched up, and now Legion was like 10 years ago, right? Like in 2016. 10 years later, they switch up Unholy Decay again. And 2006, I think, is when Decay came out, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong. Oh, 2008. Okay, so it's 8 years, 10 years. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting how they just revamp Unholy Decay. But regardless, they revamped a bunch of classes. They did a lot of work, and I think it's really, really cool. Like I'm really excited for that, because I feel like the game will get a new feel to that. Because I remember how it felt in Legion. In Legion, it felt so different. Like it's the same, but so different. Maybe for a person that, like, I left only towards like middle of Draenor, and oh my god, Legion felt so refreshing. And right now seeing like new like a bit like most abilities being pruned, and like new mechanics on how you do damage, like seeing even Warrior get back his Colossus Smash from Legion is really cool. I feel like it gives a class more identity and stuff. Like I don't know, I'm very excited about that. And now we're getting to the last chapter of the so about Midnight. Like again, I'm excited that add-ons are gone. I'm excited that they're pruning abilities so the classes can actually do less, I feel, and therefore like they'll be more unique, like it feels like, at least like that. I could be completely wrong. At the same time, they'll get a new fresh feel, which is nice. Like like Decay and the War Within is similar to Decay and like I would say BFA, like it's still you're stacking, you spamming the same thing, or like in Legion, even though it's different, necrotic wounds and like stuff like that, it's still the same Decay. Now it's gonna be different. Same goes for Warrior. It seems like it just has a different feel. I played a little bit on Warrior, and I find it nice. Like I like when it's pruning, because less is more. That's what I like. I like less is more, and it's a big, like, I'm a big advocate for that. That less buttons would allow for more creativity on what to do with the class. It would be easier rotation. You could focus more on arena, what's happening exactly in arena, And you know, that's the fun part of PvP, and I feel PvE, is when you can actually focus on what's happening around you rather than, you know, focusing, okay, I need to click this button that does like 20 damage or this button that does 100 damage because I have this proc. It's not even like interesting. It's just very, very taxing, and that's how I feel. Like, I didn't feel like the Shadowlands button bloat was any good. I didn't like that. There was a third reason. I would say the third reason is much more. The first two, many people could disagree, many people could agree, but I'm just recording it for mostly myself to just remember later. I'm just giving World of Warcraft another chance at this point because I really like, I can be critiquing like every other person in World of Warcraft on, oh, I don't like how fast it is, but like the game changes, and it's fine, you know, like uh, it's we gotta go back to the first chapter about my channel. You can see a lot of Elden Ring videos, and the reason for that is because I was playing Dark Souls during university. I was playing Dark Souls. I was competing in some PS5 tournaments, like PlayStation tournaments, I would say. And recorded some of the interesting moments from that time. And the funny part is, many people, when Elden Ring came out, they would be complaining, oh, PvP is dead, PvP is this. But you know, the game changes, and you either go with the change or you don't play the game, right? And I personally didn't like the change, nor I had time, so I didn't play the game. But there will be no, I need to emphasize, there will be no Dark Souls content. I'm done. I competed in Dark Souls tournament, I didn't win. I competed in Elden Ring tournament, I did win. A small one, and I placed like second and third place in some bigger ones. Like, you know, I'm done. I'm good. I had my fun. It was very fun to play. I don't think there will be any Dark Souls content anytime soon because at this point I'm kind of growing old of games that require too much. And World of Warcraft is much more like, you know, game where I have much more experience. I can just relax a little bit when I play it. So yeah, the last reason is, maybe for many people it will not work, but I feel like Midnight, and I wanted to play first TBC. I really wanted to come back to World of Warcraft, and Midnight is just, I feel like it just, you can get all the benefits of the game, like all the feel, you know, the game in all its aspects much easier. You know, it's like it's so accessible because like back in the day, even in Legion, you know, Gladiator, you need to get like 0.5. You know, even when the season was dead, it was like, I would say, what, 2.4, 2.3? When's the I don't remember. I can't really remember. Like, I remember there was dead seasons where Gladiator was given out really for low Mars. Maybe it was Warlords of Draenor. But still, like, it was so difficult. It was just so much. You need to, you know, level up your artifact, you know, you need to do this, that. And now it seems like they took it down, at least from what I heard. And again, all of this is rumors, speculations. That is not really, like, I don't know. I didn't play it yet. It's coming out like tomorrow. I'm gonna play it tomorrow. I'm gonna probably record a video of me playing it, like, you know, midnight first impression or something. And like, you know what I mean? Like, it's straight up. You wouldn't, like, I hope they did fix it. I don't know. Like, you know, I don't know for sure. I don't want to lie, but from what I hear, people say, oh, you know, like, you know, on retail, you just log in and you got everything, you know, and that's nice. I like that. I like that because unless they make something exciting to grind for, like Artifact, I don't think they can use it again, because Artifact was just insane. People will not be excited for grind for it. Like, for example, BFA was just awful because you had to grind the whole like expansion, even not to be the best, because there's some demons in Mythic Plus, like gears that you wouldn't even dream about, you know. And Shadowlands, oh my god, the legendaries and covenants was awful. What I didn't like is that not only I was mentally destroyed from whatever happened, but also farming for another legendary or different legendary because, like, you know, the other one got nerfed or something. It's just no. So yeah, and now I want to talk about my plans for Midnight. I think that's 3 reasons that I feel like Midnight is much easier to get into. It's much accessible. It's much more accessible. I feel like there will be more even playing field with people with add-ons and like rotation bots, and I feel it's just gonna. What was the second one? I feel like I don't like add-ons. I like the pruning of pruning of classes. I feel like the game will feel much more fresh. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Like rotation bots is not only like it's not a problem of add-ons. It's a problem of like sets of rotation. You think it's not really fun. You know, it's not fun like the vanilla rotation where like you think, oh, you know, I would do this little cool trick because the numbers were like back in the day. You would do tricks like, you know, swapping weapons and stuff like that. Right now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, even though you can do it, and that's the annoying part. You know, like it will not give you. You just press whatever does the most damage, and you kind of, and that's about it. You don't have really a choice, I would say. In terms of like, do you, you know, do some cool tricks, some new rotation? No, it will not. It will not be like that, unfortunately. The last part is my plans for midnight. Is that I plan to first, obviously, record videos. I feel like it would be cool to just document whatever is happening because I promised myself back in the days that I wouldn't come back to World of Warcraft, and here I am. Because I'm excited. I think Blizzard did a good job to get me excited. Especially I liked animated videos and like I myself, I miss this game a lot, so why not, you know? I grew up, I cannot play like super modern games that require too much time or too much attention. I want games that I know how to, like, you know, that I remember, I would say. And I plan to just first PvP. Here's my current account, and that's my European account, which I cannot play no more because I want to play on prime time. I want to try PvE, PvP. It's very accessible. Like I feel like Gladiator you can get for 2300 rating. Like, you know, PvE, I heard raids are easy. I want to try everything. I want to try the game, you know. So, like, I feel like, you know, it's gonna be really cool. But I need a prime time for it, and this is European account, so I don't think it would work. And like, yeah, the last thing I can show on this account is that just some stuff. Yeah, so this is my European account, and I think I already achieved everything I ever wanted in it. Like, of course, I didn't get rank 1. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a rank 1 player. I would play other games quite often. Like, since I was competing in tournaments in Dark Souls, I was obviously playing Dark Souls back in the day, you know, like, and yeah, like I didn't get 2.7. I get Gladiator. Like almost twice, I would say. And I have like also I did also RBGs, I think. I don't remember. So we're kind of like, you know, battlegrounds, arena. Oh, I think it's in Feast of Strengths, and yeah, in player versus player you would get, I think, like no? Okay. Yeah, here. So, yes, I did play RPGs, and I got 2.2, which is Marshall. Ooh, that is a cool. I played on a Horde. I always played on a Horde, and I think I'll be playing on a Horde in, you know, in midnight, and I always mix them up. I always mix up midnight and the War Within, but whatever. I also got. I think I'm just leveling this character to talk to this video, and I think I just like night elves. That's all I always did. And yeah, I got my favorite set here. That's it. I'm done. I got my rank. I got my set. I got my like weapons collection of transmogs. Like, I don't know. This would be my go-to with this stabber. That is what I would always rock. That is my go-to. And yeah, I got my mount. I think I'm done on this account. I really believe that I'm done. I believe I'm done on European account for now. So what I'm gonna try to do, and that's the interesting part, I'm gonna try to achieve Gladiator on American account. And it's gonna be fresh account with no achievements, with nothing. And I'm gonna try to achieve Gladiator, and you know, first season I really want to proto Gladiator. I will try to do it, and if I can't, then I'm gonna come back on European and just play on my old account, because I guess I'm washed and I'm just gonna do like non-PvP, I think, content, or like, oh, solo queue. That's another thing. Solo shuffle, solo queue is an amazing addition. I would say I would make a video about like what I would change, but you know, it's still I still believe it's amazing, and I would gladly play it. And I would gladly play it, and I think it's really cool. Yeah. So if I don't get Gladiator on my American account, I will definitely come back to, you know, European account to do solo shuffle. That's the plan. After that, I plan to hopefully try PvE, solo shuffle, play it a lot. I'm really excited. That is like just so new to me, and it's so exciting. And yeah, just I'll probably try to document it. Those videos are not necessarily some educational videos or like some, you know, videos to informational videos about the game. I just want to document my experience with the game right now as a returning player. And yeah, I hope you stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one, hopefully tomorrow.